In this tutorial, I'm going to explain and break down what Markdown blocks are. So we're going to create a brand new section in here. This is a feature that you may never ever need when you're working through Squarespace, but as I want to go through all of these blocks to give you an idea, this is probably one of the hardest ones I've found to add in relevant content about, simply because I don't tend to use it a huge amount myself. But I just had an idea where we could use ChatGPT, and I've got some demo content based on our Pixelhaze Academy website. And I'm going to use that where it'll bring in things like these headings using Markdown. So Markdown's a bit like a shorthand, predominantly used, I think, by coders and journalists to speed up the process of creating web copy, especially for online blogging. And if I go to add a block, I could be completely wrong with that, but that's my assumption of it. So if you know different, know better, please leave a comment and give me a better breakdown of what it is, and I promise I'll create a more in-depth tutorial in the future. But if we double click on this Markdown block here, we can see that we've got a very simplistic editor. So if I put a heading 1, we can see it's put these symbols, or the equal sign, several times below, and that's turned that heading into a heading 1. If I put a heading 2, we got a single line. So that's what it does, is it uses basically code, translates that then into heading 1 and 2 tags on the website. So that's what I meant when I was saying you don't necessarily need to worry about this. I'm going to put some Latin placeholder text in, and let's say we wanted a couple of words to be bold. Again, we can use Markdown to do that. One of the advantages of this is it is fully transferable and it's lightweight, meaning that if you're using a different type of website that uses Markdown, you could bring the Markdown into here and it would be universal. So it means it would recognize this. Other options, we can put in a quote, which puts it into a block quote tag. We can put in bullet points. So let's separate them there and put that as bullet points. We can see it's an asterisk for bullet points. It's a bit like how journalists used to use shorthand, or probably still do, to make notes quickly on the fly and then be able to decode those notes at a later date. That's kind of what Markdown's doing for web. Okay, so we've created that with a heading, subheading, quote and bullet points all in one section. But as I said, the limitations with the Markdown block is that we can't put any content amongst it. So this is for text only. So if we wanted to put an image in, we'd have to reduce or adjust the size of that block, then go to add a new block, and then we'd add the image, but there's no way of getting it to wrap around it or basically being able to add it in the content area directly. To create intricate page layouts, what we'd need to do is to create multiple Markdown blocks and then use the images, gallery sections, etc. to flesh it out. That is the same as using content blocks, but with content blocks, I just find it's just a little bit quicker to put it all together. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we've done that, I'll just show you how we can use this with ChatGPT. So when ChatGPT creates content, there's two ways of copying and pasting that content across. One I tend to do most of the time is just copy the text, Command-C or Control-C to copy it. Then I would create a new text block. So let's add one to the right. I'll just adjust it so we've got two blocks split 50-50 on the page. Now we can paste the text in directly from ChatGPT, and we can see that it's done a pretty good job of formatting it for us. If we are a bit fed up with the same heading styles, we really want like a heading 1 or 2 for that. So I'll go with heading 2, and then we got heading 3s for the subheadings. Okay, so that's using the text block, which would be my recommendation, especially for beginners. But if you've got this content in Markdown and you don't have it in text block, we can instead press this copy option here, and that's copied Markdown, or at least it should. Now we can go in here. I'm going to press Command-A to select all, delete all of that, and now paste it in. We can see we've got Much the same approach. We can see that ChatGPT has brought in its own response into that, which is a bit naughty. Shouldn't have done that. So we just need to double check that. The last thing we want is seeing this content. That's how we can create content in two ways, but I tend to find this is quicker here because I can use keyboard shortcuts. On a Mac is Command Option and then a number to choose the different heading styles. So we didn't even need to go up to this heading tool here to start manipulating it, whilst here we've got to go into the pop-up window. Okay, it's not a huge amount of extra time, but it does slow things down. And finally, I just wanted to show you the syntax cheat sheet, which gives you an example, more information on Markdown, plus then some examples as well. That's available over on Squarespace support, which always seems to take a few minutes to load into. And it'll give you a full breakdown. But my gut feeling is, if you're going to be using this, you probably already know about Markdown and don't need those guides, or at least not all of it anyway. If you want to find out more about website builders like Squarespace, then I've recently launched a SKOOL community, that's SKOOL with a K, information in the description, and it would be great to have you over there where I'm collating all of these tutorials, including this one, into easily accessible free courses. There's also additional courses that you can earn by contributing to the community without paying a penny. I'm looking to build up this community to make it easier for support for our team, but also to give you a helping hand as you're getting your head around a new website builder. As mentioned, link in the description, head over, take a look. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Cheers.